Well, to a bit more physical game, intramural sports rolled on at the Rec.
Let's take a look at some of the softball action from last night. And our first game of the night was SAE versus Lambda Chi B. SAE starts things off playing a rounding game of duck, duck, goose, chasing the other player. Another on his team, he's jogging a little slower than the guy behind him, but they would end up scoring 2 runs on this inside the park home run. Then they would switch it up and show you some things on the defensive side, and they would get the easy out with the throw to first base. Lambda would not be outdone here as they hit the ball through the middle. This would be a 2-run single, putting 2 runs on the board for them. It would not be enough though, as they would fall to SAEA 13-7.
In our second game, Team NA versus Punja's Little Homies. Team NA looking to outrun that hit, but he doesn't quite make it. Punja's Little Homies gets up to the plate, hits a shot, not quite. He's going to catch it outside there. Punja's Little Homies again trying, but they can't keep the balls out of the air as they're going to get 2 outs. Team NA back up to the plate. He tries to hit a shot, ends up being a nice shot way out there in the outfield. He's going to score 1 run for the team. Team NA is then going to come up in defense and show a nice double play there with the catch and then the throw to first to get the 2nd out. They would go on to beat Punja's Little Homies 6-3. Some other scores in the night include Barely Legal shutting out the Big Ballas 19-0.
The Loose Cannons made it rain on the Big Sticks, winning 17-4.
And the LSU Turf Club defeating the DDB Swamp Rats 13-3.
All right, it's time to let our sponsors get a word in, but when we come back, we'll have the tennis scores from their road battles over the weekend.
And the results from the baseball team's weekend series at South Carolina. You're watching Sports Showtime on Tiger TV.
Welcome back into Sports Showtime. Going into the weekend, the LSU baseball team was struggling hitting the baseball.
On Friday night, the Tigers continued to swing and miss as they fell to South Carolina 7-3. But they rebounded on Saturday, scoring 10 runs in a decisive victory, setting up the rubber match on Sunday. It was a beautiful Sunday out in South Carolina. Bradley up for South Carolina. He had already hit a home run. Then coming in the 3rd, he's going to score on this single as the overthrow from Schimpf is going to let South Carolina go up 2-0 in the 3rd. But later in the top of the 4th, Helenihi comes up to the plate for the Tigers and hits this shot out to left, his first home run of the season, only his 3rd extra base hit so far this season as well.
Off that home run, Helenihi would kind of help the other Tiger players get their bats warmed up. Blake Dean has been struggling of late this season, but hits the ball to deep right. Looks like it might get out of the park, but the wind or something catches it, and the ball ends up being caught by the right fielder. It ends up being a sacrifice fly, scoring Sean Ochinko as Blake Dean's 13th RBI of the season. Ryan Schimpf up next hits the ball high into the air. It's caught by the center fielder of South Carolina. Another sacrifice fly for the Tigers as DJ LeMahieu would score here, giving the Tigers their first lead of the afternoon. Austin Ross is the starting pitcher and will go on to get the victory for the Tigers. Coach Maneri talked on Monday about his team's bats finally coming alive against South Carolina.
So starting on Saturday and Sunday, we just needed to become really more aggressive at the plate, and I think we did. And I think the results showed that. We ended up hitting 3 home runs on Saturday and 3 home runs on Sunday, and scored a bunch of runs and took a little bit of pressure off of our pitchers.
Matty Out was named SEC Pitcher of the Week after pitching 6 1/3 innings of shutout work last week. The Tigers will return to action tonight in a 2-game set versus Ivy League foe Harvard.
Odd is the 3rd Tiger pitcher to take home SEC Pitcher of the Week honors. Sports Showtime's Jay St. Pierre explored the year of LSU's last week's award winner, Lewis Coleman.
If Lewis Coleman was not SEC Pitcher of the Week for this past weekend, there certainly needed to be an investigation, because no pitcher could have been more valuable to his team in the country, much less the SEC, than Lewis was to us this past week or weekend.
This is just one of the many good things LSU baseball coach Paul Maneri had to say about Coleman's impressive weekend. The senior pitcher garnered SEC Pitcher of the Week honors after recording 2 wins and pitching 9 2/3 innings during LSU's weekend series against Kentucky. Though he pitched 2 innings March 11th and another 2 2/3 2 days later, adrenaline was all Coleman needed to start Sunday's game.
Before I started warming up, I was thinking to myself, I don't think my arm's going to be able to hold up for 5 or 6. I just want to give 4 good innings. And then as soon as I started throwing, I guess just the adrenaline, before the game, the soreness went away and I didn't really feel anything. So
Coleman has shut down opposing hitters this season. He's compiled a 4-1 record, a .4 earned run average, and recorded 30 strikeouts. He's walked only 4 and held opposing batters to a 152 batting average. The success Coleman is experiencing is partially a product of a change in the pitcher's delivery.
He experimented with dropping his arm slot down. That didn't work tremendously. It had times it did, but what was part of that delivery was to step more towards third base and throw across his body. So what he did is he came back up now to his normal arm slot, but he continues to stride towards third base. So what's happened is he's created a lot of deception, especially against right-handed hitters, and he's got a little bit of a hesitation in his delivery that throws off left-handed hitters.
Though the sidearm delivery didn't last long, Maneri said he had full confidence in Coleman, no matter how he chose to pitch.
No, he's just got a knack for throwing strikes. He can throw strikes in his sleep, that kid. Some kids just have that. I don't know if it's because of how much they've pitched in their life or what, but he knows where that release point needs to be.
Reporting from Baton Rouge, I'm Jay St. Pierre.
Once again, weather permitting, the Tigers will host Harvard tonight in the first game of a two-game series. First pitch is set at 6:30.
The 35th ranked LSU men's tennis team took its talents on the road Saturday as they faced the 15th ranked Aggies of Texas A&M. In singles play, 9th ranked Michael Venus of LSU defeated 16th ranked Connor Polick in straight sets 6-3 and 6-4. Following Venus on the courts was LSU's Julian Gauthier, who also won in straight sets. However, the match decision for LSU rested on the shoulders of Sebastian Carlson as he fought well but eventually fell to Marcus Lunt in 3 sets. The Tigers will look to bounce back from the loss when they square off against SEC rival Georgia on Friday in Athens.
The women's swimming and diving team made a big splash at the NCAA championships this weekend. Led by 3 All-American relay teams, LSU placed 16th overall, its best performance since 2001. The foursome of Catherine Nolan, Katie Gilmore, Jane Trepp, and Monica McJunkin headed the way with the program record time in the 400 free relay. They took 9th in the event. This Thursday, 6 members of the 17th ranked men's swimming and diving team will compete in the NCAA championships of their own. It's time for another quick intermission, but when we return, we'll have our own analyst in the studio for an in-depth look at the men's basketball in the NCAA tournament.
And what the students think about the ending to the LSU men's basketball season. This is Sports Showtime on Tiger TV.